8 people have been injured in explosion in a weapons manufacturing plant in Sterli city in Russia's Republic of Bashkortostan, local media reported on Friday. Bashkortostan's head Radii Kadirov confirmed the incident, saying the cause of the incident was being investigated. 3 of the injured have been hospitalized, with one of them being in a severe condition, TASS news agency reported, citing the Bashkortostan Ministry of Health. According to the Sterli city administration, 5 people remain under the rubble, their fate is still unknown. No deaths have been reported yet. Being part of state corporation Rostec, Avangard plant produces weapons, ammunition and explosives. It also specializes in developing and manufacturing equipment, parts and tools for the oil and gas sector. According to some reports, the explosion occurred at the plant's nitro unit during an attempt to start up the shop. The blast has caused significant damage and a large fire. Emergency services are currently on the site of the incident. Ambulances were dispatched to the site. Windows were shattered in neighboring buildings. Friday's explosion was not the first incident in the factory. In August last year, an explosion in Avangard plant killed 3 contract workers. Due to its involvement to Moscow's military production industry, Avangard plant was placed under the European Union sanctions in 2024, 2 years into Russia's full-fledged invasion of Ukraine. The European Union have stated that Avangard implements state defense orders for the disposal of military equipment and weapons and carries out work on the creation and modernization of ammunition. According to media reports, during the war in Ukraine, extra land was allocated to the plant to expand the scale of its production. Ukraine has intensified its attacks on Russian strategic and military facilities, causing fires and disrupting Russia's military operations.
Пиздосники базу бабахнули опять. Мы здесь на дежурстве. Лишь бы осколки никакие не полетели.
Вот лазурка, и там горит. Завод горит. Вон там вдалеке. Там что за завод у нас, интересно?
In Belgorod, officers of the Federal Security Service of the Russian Federation organized a showdown in the Rebi Bar. There are victims and wounded, writes Vichik-ODPU, citing sources. The fight took place on the night of October the 16th. At least 3 of its participants were FSB officers. According to eyewitnesses, the conflict started over 55-year-old Igor Klizenko, a local resident with a rich criminal biography. Since the late 1980s, he has been repeatedly implicated in criminal cases, including hooliganism, extortion and torture. In the course of the scuffle, Klizenko stabbed 33-year-old Sergei Romankov fatally in the heart. According to the channel, Romankov had long served in a military unit of the FSB Special Forces Center in Balashikha and was known among acquaintances under the nicknames Sergei FSB and Grey FSB. He also served as a driver in the Alpha Group. Another participant in the conflict who was wounded in the leg is also an FSB officer. The third victim from among those present near the bar also belongs to the Russian Special Service. At the same time, the FSB is also stepping up the fight against war opponents in Russia. For example, Russia's main intelligence agency announced a sweeping terrorism investigation into nearly 24 anti-war Russians, escalating the Kremlin's onslaught against exiled critics of the invasion of Ukraine. The agency, the Federal Security Service, said that it had suspected a group called the Russian Anti-War Committee of plotting to overthrow the government. The committee, which was founded by the anti-Kremlin tycoon Mikhail Khodorkovsky, includes exiled politicians, law professors, and other prominent professionals. The FSB accused Khodorkovsky, who was imprisoned for 10 years in Russia on what his lawyers called politically motivated charges of setting up a terrorist organization. In a statement, the agency said that the committee aimed to seize power by force and change the constitutional order in Russia by funding Ukrainian army units and recruiting individuals inside Russia. The criminal case signals how closely President Vladimir Putin is watching anti-Kremlin activity abroad as Russia pursues its perceived enemies across international borders, including, in some cases, with poisonings and shootings. The Russian authorities appear to be particularly concerned with recent moves in Europe. The Council of Europe, an intergovernmental organization that is dedicated to upholding democracy, human rights, and the rule of law on the continent, adopted a resolution to create a platform for dialogue with Russian democratic forces. The forum would also help exiled Russians engage with Europe on their opposition to the Putin government, as well as on issues faced by the hundreds of thousands of anti-Kremlin exiles abroad. Participants are expected to include those who signed a 2023 declaration by the Russian Anti-War Committee condemning Russia's invasion of Ukraine.